Imagine having the power to stay calm no matter what chaos surrounds you. What if the secret is in your mind? Ever feel like you're overwhelmed by stress, but what if you could choose calm instead of chaos? Learn how a simple shift in your mindset can transform you from reactive to calm and in control. Ready to take charge? One moment, everything feels perfectly calm, and the next, chaos erupts. Traffic, bad news, that person who knows exactly how to push your buttons, the constant pressure. Suddenly, you find yourself trapped in the whirlwind of racing thoughts. Ever wonder, why is it so difficult to stay calm? Why does it feel like your mind is working against you? The hard truth is, if you don't train your mind, it will end up controlling you. But here's the good news, there's a way out. A path followed by some of the wisest individuals in history to find peace, even amidst the storm. Stoicism teaches us something crucial. Peace doesn't come from what's happening outside. It comes from how we choose to respond to it. Today, I'm going to share with you how you can train your mind to stay calm in even the most chaotic of moments. Because no matter what's happening around you, in the end, you have only two choices. Either control your mind or become a slave to it. Let me take you back to the story of Thomas, a 33-year-old man who seemed to have everything figured out. He had a stable life, a steady job, and a comfortable home, but there was one dangerous habit that threatened to undo it all. He bottled up his emotions, stress at work, hurtful comments from others, disappointments both big and small. Thomas kept it all inside. He put on a brave face, pretending that everything was fine, but deep down, his mind was like a hornet's nest. Every evening when he returned home without warning, something insignificant would trigger him, and he would explode, angry over the neighbor's noise, frustrated that the mail hadn't arrived, or even annoyed that his toaster wasn't working. None of these were big issues, yet they set him off. But what happened next was the real eye-opener. One summer evening, everything reached a boiling point. His partner casually said, "You're always angry." That one sentence was the spark, and before he knew it, he was yelling, slamming doors, and hurling accusations. But that wasn't the shocking part. What came next is what really changed Thomas's life. In a fit of rage, he stormed out, leaving his home behind, wandering the streets aimlessly for hours. As dawn approached, he sat down on a bench in a park and instinctively reached for his phone. He opened YouTube, and without thinking, the first video that appeared had the words, "You can't control what happens, but you can control how you respond." Curious, he clicked on it. This was his first introduction to Stoicism, a philosophy he had never heard of before. It sounded strange, but with nothing else to lose, he decided to listen. And that's when everything started to change. He spent the entire night watching videos, reading about the lives and teachings of great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca. For the first time in his life, something clicked inside him. These weren't just fancy quotes. They were painful, yet liberating truths. As one Stoic saying goes, it's not things that upset us, but our opinion about them. Thomas learned a profound lesson. The more power something holds over you, the weaker you are in its presence. But if you choose not to be hurt, then you won't be. Calm wasn't a gift, Thomas realized. It was a skill that could be trained. From that day forward, Thomas began to make small but powerful changes. Before responding, he took a breath. Before complaining, he paused to observe. Whenever he felt that familiar tightness in his chest, he went for a walk to clear his mind. Of course, he still stumbled at times. Anger would still knock at his door. But now Thomas knew that he didn't have to let it in. Slowly, but surely, without anyone really noticing, Thomas transformed. He was no longer a slave to his impulses. He had gained control of his mind. And so, my friend, if you're ready, you too can begin this journey. The power to calm your mind and reclaim control is within you. You just have to start practicing. Will you take the first step? Imagine someone who doesn't react to everything. Someone who doesn't feel the need to yell just to prove a point. Someone who understands that true control isn't something you demonstrate to others. It's something you feel deep within. My friend, maybe you're not Thomas, but I'm sure you've experienced moments when your mind drags you places you don't want to go. And maybe just like him, you're about to discover that true calm doesn't come when everything outside is peaceful. No, true calm comes when everything inside you is steady, regardless of what happens around you. Today, I'm going to teach you how to train your mind so that you no longer depend on external circumstances. Whether it's traffic, your boss, the weather, or even other people's moods, to maintain your inner peace. You're going to discover how to stay calm even when the world feels chaotic. And believe me, if Thomas could do it, so can you. Let's get started. But before we continue, if you're finding this content valuable, I invite you to subscribe and become an exclusive member to access special perks. And while you're at it, tell us in the comments, what will you do today to take control of your mind? Or simply write, I'm a Stoic. We want to grow together with you. Now here's the big question. Who's in charge here, you or your mind? Let me guess. You've had those days when it feels like your mind is working against you. You wake up energized, ready to take on the world. But then just one small setback happens, and suddenly everything spirals out of control. Maybe you made a simple mistake in an email, and immediately your mind starts whispering that you're a failure. Or someone makes a rude comment, and you spend the next 30 minutes replaying the conversation in your head, thinking about everything you should have said. Or even worse, someone cuts you off in traffic, and suddenly you're angrier than you've ever been. Like your favorite team just lost the Champions League final. Sound familiar? This is what happens when you let your mind run wild, like an untamed horse charging in every direction, with no aim or reason. If you don't train it, your mind will drag you through the mud without mercy. It doesn't matter what your goal is, whether it's staying calm, making better decisions, or just living with less stress. If you don't take control of your mind, it will take control of you. Picture this. You're in a meeting, feeling relaxed, engaged in a calm conversation. And then, out of nowhere, someone drops a sharp comment, a venomous jab disguised as a joke. It hits like a punch to the ego. Suddenly, your blood starts to boil, your heart races, and your head floods with witty comebacks to put that person in their place. But wait a minute, is that really necessary, or is it just your mind pushing you to react without thinking? This is where you need to remember what Epictetus taught us centuries ago. It's not the things themselves that disturb us. It's our interpretation of them. Think about it for a second. Was that comment really so bad? Or is it the meaning you chose to give it? Let's break it down. Someone says, you could have done that better. You could take that in two very different ways. If your mind goes into panic mode, you might interpret it as, I'm incompetent, they must be disappointed in me. Suddenly, you're mentally digging through every mistake you've made in the last few months, sinking deeper into self-doubt. But what if you chose to interpret it differently? What if you saw that comment as nothing more than a neutral observation? A chance to improve rather than an attack on your abilities. The words are exactly the same. The only difference is the meaning you attach to them. This is where the real power lies. It's not in the external world, but in the internal world you create through your thoughts. When you take control of your interpretations, you take control of your emotional reactions. When you master your mind, nothing can shake you. So, the next time you face a setback, an insult, or a trigger, ask yourself, how am I choosing to respond? Will I let my mind drag me around, or will I stand firm, choosing calm and clarity instead? The real difference lies in how you choose to interpret situations. The problem, however, is that most of the time we don't even realize when our minds are playing tricks on us. Our primitive brain, specifically the amygdala, is wired to detect threats. It reacts in a matter of milliseconds. The issue, it doesn't know the difference between a lion lurking in the grass and a passive-aggressive comment from someone at work. To your brain, danger is danger. That's why you need to train it, to teach it not to overreact to every perceived threat. You can't let your mind be in charge. Calmness doesn't magically appear. It's something you train, strengthen, and turn into a habit. So, how do you take control of your mind? Let's break it down. First, use the 3-second pause technique. Whenever something sets you off, take a deep breath and slowly count 1, 2, 3. That tiny pause, just 3 seconds, is enough to allow your rational brain to step in before your emotional reactions take over. It's a brief moment, but it's powerful. Next, rewrite the story you're telling yourself. Instead of thinking, they disrespected me, I have to respond, change your mindset to, I'm not going to waste my energy on this. It sounds simple, but it completely shifts how you react to the situation. It's a game changer in terms of how you allow events to affect you. And finally, activate observer mode. Imagine you're watching the situation unfold from the outside like it's a movie. How would the calmest, wisest person in history react? Would they get rattled over something so trivial? Likely not. By shifting your perspective, you can maintain your inner peace. My friend, if you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. And most of the time, that someone is your automatic reaction, the one that ends up causing you the most harm. The next time anger, frustration, or fear comes knocking, remember that you hold the reins. It's up to you whether you control them or let your mind run wild. Second, don't let anger make you lose control. Picture yourself driving peacefully down the highway. Everything is calm and under control until suddenly the steering wheel starts turning on its own. You try to straighten it, but it won't. Respond. It jerks side to side as if it has a mind of its own, speeding up and ignoring the brakes. Panic begins to set in because now you're no longer driving. The car is taking you wherever it wants. That's what anger is like. One moment you think you're in control, and the next you realize something else is calling the shots. Anger drags you along, making you say things you don't mean, react in ways you'll regret, and when you finally manage to stop, all that's left is damage. Anger doesn't just throw your mind out of balance. It pulls you away from what you truly want. Calm, clarity, and the ability to handle anything without losing your center. If you need proof of how quickly anger can wreck everything, just look at Will Smith at the Oscars. Everything was going perfectly. It was his night. He was about to win the most prestigious award of his career. But then, Chris Rock made a joke about his wife. What did Will do? In a moment of anger, he got up, walked straight to the stage, and without thinking, slapped Chris Rock live on national television. The damage was done in an instant. One rash decision that could have been avoided. Anger clouds our judgment, takes away our peace, and leaves us with regret. But when we train our minds to respond with calm, we regain control over our actions, and we stop allowing our emotions to dictate the outcomes of our lives. One moment of impulsive action. 1 second when his mind took control of the wheel without asking, and his public image crashed down into a disaster. Years of respect and admiration vanished in the blink of an eye, all because he didn't stop to think. Was it really worth it? Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, made it clear centuries ago, the one who gets angry suffers far more than the one who caused the offense. Why? Because in the end, the person who throws the first jab forgets it in a matter of minutes. But you will carry that anger with you, replaying it over and over in your head like an endless loop of frustration. Seneca had a rule to avoid becoming a slave to his anger. When someone tried to provoke him, he would give himself time before reacting. He understood that the mind doesn't offer the best advice when it's consumed by anger. So, how do you take back control when anger tries to hijack your mind? One of the most powerful techniques you can use is simply letting it pass by without holding on to it. Neuroscientist Jill Bolt Taylor discovered something fascinating. Anger, biologically speaking, only lasts for about 90 seconds. That's right, only 90 seconds. Are you telling me you can't handle 90 seconds of discomfort? Come on. Some advertisements last longer than that. But here's the real issue. During those 90 seconds, we often feed the anger. We replay what happened, think about what we should have said, and convince ourselves of how unfair it was. And before we know it, those 90 seconds have turned into hours, days, or even weeks of resentment. So here's something you can try next time you feel that wave of heat rising in your chest. Don't do anything. Don't react. Just notice the anger as it begins to rise. Count to 90 and breathe deeply. If you don't grab onto it, the anger will naturally fade away on its own. Movement also helps tremendously. Anger is not just an emotion, it's a physical reaction. You can feel it in your muscles, your rapid breathing, that tight knot in your chest. If you stay still, it will only build up and eventually explode when you least expect it. It's like a pressure cooker that needs to release steam. Have you ever tried clenching your fists tightly and then slowly releasing them? It seems simple, but it works. Doing something physical, no matter how small, takes the power away from the impulse and restores control. Here's another powerful trick. Ask yourself, will this matter a week from now? In the heat of the moment, everything feels overwhelming, final, unbearable. But with a little distance and perspective, you'll often realize that the situation wasn't worth getting worked up over at all. Next time something pushes your buttons, picture yourself a week from now, looking back at this moment. If you don't think it'll matter then why let it control you now? Think about it for a second. If anger actually solved problems, all the people who yell and slam tables would be the happiest, most successful people in the world. But since we know that's not the case, the smartest choice is always to channel that energy into something that truly matters. So, the next time your mind wants to hit the gas without brakes, remember, you are the one in control. Now let's talk about calm. Calm isn't just for the weak, it's for the winners. Picture yourself on a battlefield. The ground trembles with every step, the air thick with tension, Screams echo all around, and the clash of swords sounds, like the world itself is being torn apart. Chaos reigns supreme. In the middle of this madness, soldiers are running in every direction. Some are attacking recklessly, others are shouting orders no one can hear. It's utter disorder. And then, through the chaos, a figure appears. This figure stands firm in the storm, calm and composed, unaffected by the frenzy surrounding him. He doesn't rush in with blind fury. He waits, observes, and then makes his move with precision. This person doesn't let the chaos dictate his actions. He knows that calmness in the face of chaos is the true sign of strength. So remember, calm is not for those who are weak. It is a tool for the strong, the ones who understand that control over themselves is the greatest victory of all. In every chaotic moment, you have the choice to either lose yourself or remain steady, focused, and in control. And it is that choice that defines who you are. The next time you find yourself in a storm, whether it's at work, in your relationships, or even in your own mind, remember that calm is your greatest ally. You are the one in control. Picture a warrior, someone who doesn't rush, doesn't raise his voice, and never runs or retreats. Instead, he walks with purpose. His breathing is steady, his gaze calm. He doesn't get swept up in the panic around him. No, he observes. He calculates. And when he acts, it's with precision, never out of impulse. That's the person who commands real respect. The one who doesn't get caught up in the frenzy, but instead owns the moment. Because calmness isn't cowardice. It doesn't hold him back, it guides him. It gives him power. Now think about the world we live in today. It's as though the louder you are, the more you interrupt. The more aggressively you respond, the more right you appear. It's as if losing your cool is some kind of power move. But what if that's all wrong? What if true strength lies in staying calm? What if real power comes from not allowing yourself to be dragged down by the chaos, from not giving the dramatic performance everyone expects? What if real strength is found in standing firm while everything around you shakes? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, understood this better than anyone. He wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." And he didn't say that out of weakness. No, he said it because he knew that when you react with rage, you hand over control. Staying silent doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you're choosing not to feed the fire, to rise above it. Real strength is in restraint, in observing calmly and only acting when it truly matters. Simon Sinek, the leadership expert, echoes this today. True leaders, he says, aren't the ones who shout or try to dominate with force. No, the true leaders are the ones who stay composed in the middle of chaos. The ones who, when everyone else is panicking, keep a clear head and know what to do. Whether it's in a company or at home, the person who stays calm ends up leading the rest. Why? Because they inspire confidence. Their calmness is contagious. And let me tell you, that kind of calm isn't something you're born with. It's something you train. It's something you practice. And when you do, it changes everything. Now picture this. You're negotiating with your landlord to fix the damp spots on your ceiling. You can sense him starting to get defensive. Your first instinct might be to raise your voice, cut him off, and show your anger. But that's where the real difference shows. Because if you stay calm, speak firmly without losing your temper, you don't just keep your dignity, you gain authority. You don't come off as weak. No, you come off as someone who knows exactly what they want and how to get it. Calmness doesn't make you a pushover. It makes you someone worth listening to. So how do you train that kind of calm? The kind that matters when everything around you is falling apart. First, Take strategic pauses. When a situation heats up, don't rush to respond. Give yourself a few seconds. It may sound simple, but sometimes a short silence carries more power than a long speech. That silence forces the other person to stop, rethink, and realize they're not in control of you. Second, use the rhythm of your voice. You don't need to yell to be heard. In fact, the louder you yell, the more you lose credibility. But someone who speaks slowly, clearly, and without hesitation, well, that person commands attention. Calmness has its own volume. And third, practice the Stoic gaze. When you look at someone or something, do so with calmness. Don't let your eyes betray your emotions. Keep your gaze steady, unfaltering even in the face of confrontation. It's a small detail, but it can make all the difference in how others perceive your inner strength. With these practices, you will gradually learn to stay composed in any situation. You'll stop reacting impulsively and start responding with purpose. Your calmness will be your superpower, and when others see you maintain control in chaos, they'll look to you as a true leader. So remember, the next time life challenges you, take a moment, breathe, and choose your response wisely. Calm isn't a sign of weakness. It's the trait of those who truly know their worth and power. The one who doesn't respond with anger, disdain, or fear. Instead, they simply watch, steady and composed. Because when someone tries to provoke you and you meet them with that calm, unwavering stare, they are disarmed. They were expecting an outburst, an emotional reaction, but what they get is your peace. It's disorienting for them. Remember that warrior who moves silently through chaos. He's not weak. In fact, he's the most dangerous one of all. Calm is a strategy. It's a sign of power. It's what separates those who react impulsively from those who lead with purpose. If you can master that calmness, if you learn to hold on to it even when everything around you shakes, then you are already winning, no matter the situation. Now let's talk about life, because here's a reality check. Life isn't fair. I know it doesn't sound nice, but let's be honest from the start. Life isn't fair, period. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how kind you are, or how much you sacrifice. Sometimes someone who's doing half of what you're doing gets all the credit. You could be giving it your all, but someone else gets ahead by cheating, by luck, or through connections. Is it unfair? Absolutely. Can you change it? I'm afraid not. So what do we do with that? I'll tell you this. Staying stuck in anger, complaints, or frustration will only make your mind more chaotic. And as you've learned by now, if there's one thing you must train, it's your ability to stay calm when everything around you seems unfair. Not long ago, I heard the story of a woman named Marta. She had been working as an administrative assistant at a company for over 10 years. She was responsible, punctual, and always on top of everything. She applied for an internal promotion, confident that her experience would make her the ideal candidate. But the promotion went to someone who had only been there for 6 months and just happened to be related to the boss. Marta felt invisible, and yes, it hurt a lot. But what could she do? Could she ask life to be fair? Could she get angry with her boss, make a scene, or sulk at home? Of course not. Marta understood something that Epictetus made clear centuries ago. Don't ask for things to happen as you wish. Wish for them to happen as they do, and you'll find peace. That wasn't just a quote for her. It became her guiding principle, her compass. Asking life to be fair is like getting mad at the rain for making you wet. You can complain all you want, but you'll still be soaked. Or you can open your umbrella, accept what is, and keep walking forward. Marta didn't stay stuck in what she couldn't change. She chose to act from a place of calm, and that's when her path began to shift. Today, she works at a company where her work is truly valued. She's even training new employees. The injustice she experienced didn't magically disappear, but she didn't let it steal her peace of mind. Now, put yourself in Marta's shoes. Or better yet, think of a time when something similar happened to you. Maybe it was a scholarship you worked tirelessly for, a project you poured your heart into, or a conversation where you were completely honest, only to lose out in the end. Your mind wants to explode. It tells you it's not fair, that you deserve better. But if you let yourself get dragged into that storm, you lose your clarity, you lose your energy, and worst of all, you lose control. Instead of reacting with anger and frustration, take a step back. Breathe and remind yourself that life won't always go your way. But it's how you respond that truly defines who you are. You have the power to choose how you handle every situation, no matter how unfair it may seem. The calm you cultivate, the strength you find in accepting what is your greatest tool in navigating the storms of life. So next time something doesn't go your way, remember, Marta. Remember that you too can find peace in the midst of injustice. And that peace, my friend, is your superpower. So here's my challenge to you. Try the acceptance challenge just for one day. Try not to complain about anything. Not the traffic, not your boss, not the weather. Just observe, accept, and focus on what you can control. It might sound simple, or even a little silly, but trust me, your mind will notice. It will stop chasing after things that are beyond your control and start calming down. If acceptance feels too difficult, believe in something that helps you let go of control. Call it whatever you want: universe, destiny, life itself. Or, if you want something more fun, picture having a Stoic GPS guiding you. Turn right. Your boss was just unfair. Keep going straight. Don't stop. Trust it. It all makes sense in the end. Sometimes we just need to believe there's a plan behind the chaos to keep our peace intact. My friend, if there's one thing that will help you train your mind, it's learning to stop resisting what you cannot change. Life doesn't always treat you the way you deserve, but you can always choose how you respond. Now tell me in the comments, what's one situation you went through that felt completely unfair? And how did you handle it? We're all here to read your story, support you, and grow together. Because this community is not only a space to learn, but also a space to share and rise together. Let's move on to another important lesson. Losing control is your choice. We've all been there. You're calmly waiting in line at the supermarket, and suddenly someone cuts in front of you, acting like it's no big deal. They look at you, smile as if everything is fine, and move ahead. What do you do in that moment? Do you yell at them, boil with rage, or do you take a deep breath, stay calm, and decide that this small incident is not going to ruin your day? A study from Yale University found that when people believe they have control over their emotions, they automatically react more calmly under stress. It's not magic. It's not that some people are born with superpowers to stay calm. It's that they choose to think differently. It's a decision. And yes, you can choose it too. Because no one, absolutely no one, has the power to take away your peace unless you hand it over to them. Epictetus put it plainly. Remember, it's not enough to be insulted or harmed. You must believe you've been harmed. What he means is this: It's not the comment, the look, or the gesture that hurts you. It's what you do with it in your mind. See, it all starts there, in how you choose to interpret what's happening. Your mind can either betray you or become your strongest ally. Because if you're not trained, your mind will react automatically. The amygdala, our brain's primitive danger detector, will kick in, and boom, you'll be snapping back, throwing sarcasm, or shutting down completely. But if you take the reins, you can pause that impulse before it wrecks your day. Here's a technique that saved me more than once. I call it emotional airplane mode. Just like when you switch your phone to airplane mode and everything disconnects, you can do the same with your mind. Picture this. Instead of reacting instantly, you hit an invisible button and everything goes quiet for a moment. That pause gives you just enough space to decide how you want to respond, rather than being at the mercy of your emotions. It's like hitting a mental reset button, and in that pause, you gain the power to act with purpose, not out of impulse. Next time you find yourself on the verge of losing control, remember that you have the power to hit that pause button. You can choose not to let the moment dictate your emotional response. It's a practice, but with time, it will become second nature. And in the end, you'll find that by mastering your emotions, you're not just winning the moment, you're winning at life. Does this even deserve a response, or should I just move on? Trust me, I've been there. At family meals, there's always that one person who just has to comment on how I look. Have you lost weight? You look tired. You should eat more. It used to get to me. It made me uncomfortable. I'd spend the whole day replaying those words over and over in my mind. But now, when I start feeling that reaction building up inside, I hit what I call emotional airplane mode. I take a deep breath, I stay quiet, and I don't let those comments decide how I feel. The best part? It works. The person on the other side is waiting for your reaction, expecting you to be upset, but you decide not to give it to them. And that's the moment when true calm takes over. Here's something else that really helps me. Ask yourself a simple yet incredibly powerful question. Do I really want to give this person control over my mood? Just asking that question triggers a more rational, conscious part of your brain. And that's when calm starts to take the reins. Think about it. If we lost our cool every time someone annoyed us, we'd be living with the blood pressure of a volcano. And you're not here to explode, you're here to grow. So the next time someone tries to push your buttons, remember this: losing your temper isn't inevitable. It's a choice. It's always within your control. Now let's talk about something else that can really make a difference. Connecting with your body to calm your mind. Picture this. You're in the kitchen. Your mind spinning with 1,000 thoughts. The rice is boiling. Your phone won't stop buzzing. The kids are screaming. And in the background, emails keep piling up. Your breathing speeds up. Puff, puff, puff. Your chest tightens. Your hands start to sweat, and you feel like you're about to explode. But the worst part, nothing truly serious has even happened. But inside, it feels like a storm is about to hit. And there you are, stuck. Your mind is racing, jumping from one thought to the next like it's trapped on a roller coaster. You don't even know why you're so anxious, and you certainly don't know how to stop it. But what if you could take control of your mind in that exact moment? What if there was a reset button that gave you back control when everything felt like it was too much to handle? Here's the secret: move. It's not random. It's not something I just made up. A study published in Lancet Psychiatry showed that regular physical activity reduces the likelihood of experiencing severe stress by 43%. That's huge, right? It's like having an invisible shield against anxiety, and it makes sense. When you're stuck in your mind, what you need isn't more thinking. It's time to come back to your body, feel your feet on the ground, breathe deeply, move your muscles, step out of the mental whirlwind by doing something as simple as walking. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, knew this centuries ago. He recommended going for walks to clear the mind and think more calmly. And he said something that sums it up perfectly. No wind is favorable to the one who doesn't know where they're going. What does that mean? It means that when you're caught in a mental storm, you can't expect the wind to take you anywhere good if you're not even holding the wheel. But when you move even just one step, you're already changing the direction of the wind. Each step you take, each movement you make, helps steer you away from the chaos and toward a place of calm, clarity, and control. So next time you feel like the storm is raging inside, remember, a little movement can go a long way. Whether it's a short walk, stretching, or simply taking a few deep breaths, it can help reset your mind and bring you back to a place of peace. Because true control isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about knowing how to navigate through it with calm and purpose. So my friend, if one day your mind starts dragging you through stress and tension, don't just sit there chewing on your thoughts. Get up and move. Even if it's just for a few minutes, take a mindful walk. No phone, no music, just you, your steps, and the world around you. Pay attention to the trees, the sky, the sounds of life. It's like slowly finding your way back to yourself. Another option? Shake it off. Yes, really. It's called shaking, and it's all about moving. Your arms, legs, and neck freely, as if you're shaking the stress out of your body. It might feel a bit silly at first, but trust me, when you're done, it's like taking off a heavy coat made of cement. You'll feel lighter, more relaxed. And if you're short on time, stretch like a cat. You've seen them, right? When they wake up, they stretch out long, yawn, and move every part of their body. Try the same. Stretch your arms, your neck, your back. In just 2 minutes, you can feel more relief than 10 positive thoughts could give you. Because look, your mind might be in crisis, screaming that everything's falling apart, but if you move your body, at least the rest of you won't panic. And on tough days, that's a win. Remember this, when your mind is in chaos, stop thinking and start moving. You'll feel the difference, because in the end, only calm will take you where you truly want to go. And that calm doesn't always start in your head. A lot of times, it starts in your feet. Now, here's something that might sound familiar. Has it ever happened to you that everything seems fine, and suddenly your mind starts acting suspicious, like something's off? You think to yourself, I feel calm today. But then, out of nowhere, a sneaky thought creeps in. I probably forgot something. This is too strange. Something bad's about to happen. And just like that, in seconds, you go from feeling peaceful to being hit by a wave of irrational anxiety. It's like your mind, instead of enjoying the calm, becomes afraid of it. A lot of people think staying calm depends on everything going well. If traffic flows smoothly, if the boss is in a good mood, if no one disagrees with me, then yes, I'll allow myself to be at peace. But what if calm wasn't something you're given when the world behaves? What if it's a decision you can make, even when everything around you is falling apart? Seneca understood this so deeply, and he lived with an invisible shield around him. He said, the more power something has over you, the weaker you are in front of it. And he didn't say that to sound wise. He had lived it. He advised emperors, witnessed betrayal, exile, death threats, and through it all, he kept choosing calm. Can you picture Seneca with an emotional switch built into his toga? Someone tries to provoke him, and with total composure, he simply hits his inner serene mode button. No drama, no explosions, just control. Today, psychology calls this emotional regulation. And no, it's not something you're born with. It's a skill you can train. Those people who always seem calm, the ones who don't lose it even when things go south, weren't born with some special chip. They've practiced. They've messed up plenty of times, but they've learned how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. And yes, we all know someone like that, don't we? That friend who never loses their cool. The one who, in the middle of an argument, calmly sips their coffee and responds as if it's nothing. Sometimes it even feels like they live on a different frequency, one that is steady, unshaken by the turbulence around them. The key is simple. Emotional regulation is a skill. And just like any skill, it can be learned and perfected with practice. So the next time you feel your mind starting to spiral into chaos, remember that you have the power to choose calm. You can hit your own serene mode button. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And over time, you'll find that you can stay calm in situations that used to throw you off completely. The calm within you is not just an advantage, it's a superpower. And when you cultivate it, you're not just surviving life's storms, you're thriving through them. And you think, how do they do it? Well, they've probably figured out something important. Calm isn't a reward, it's a choice. And losing it helps absolutely nothing. One thing that's really helped me is something I call the emotional plan B. Do you know what that is? It's deciding in advance how I want to react when a tense situation shows up. I know it's not easy. There will always be something or someone trying to push your buttons. But if you've already got your emotional plan in place, you're much more likely to stay calm when life gets challenging. You can also create your own calm zone. It doesn't have to be a physical space with candles and Zen music. Although, if that's your thing, go for it. It can be something as simple as listening to a calming song, taking a walk, reading for a while, or writing down what you feel. It's your mental rest space, a place you can return to when life gets too loud, when the noise of the world tries to drown out your peace. There's a phrase I repeat to myself whenever I feel like everything's about to overflow. I can be part of the problem or part of the solution. I say it to myself in that moment, choosing whether I want to add tension to the situation or bring peace into it. The moment I choose peace, everything starts to shift, and I feel the tension melt away. My friend, your mind will try to pull you in every direction. It'll push you to react, to yell, to worry about things that haven't even happened yet. But the truth is, only you decide whether or not you play that game. Only you choose whether you get carried away or whether you plant your feet firmly on the ground and stay grounded. If calm is always an option, always there, waiting for you, then why not start choosing it more often? Because the more you choose it, the easier it becomes to return to it. And the more you return to it, the freer you become. It's like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Let's talk about something else. You are not what happens to you. You are what you do. My friend, people can betray you. You can lose your job. You can lose everything you have. But what truly matters isn't what happens to you. It's what you do next. Because there's something no one can ever take from you, no matter how hard life hits. Your control over your mind. That's your strength, and that's where everything begins. Let me tell you a story that I'm sure will inspire you. It's about Brian Elbeti Oliver. Maybe you know him as Brianator. From the moment he was born, it seemed like everything was against him. spina bifida, degenerative muscle atrophy, and a wheelchair as his constant companion since childhood. With that alone, anyone would have thought his life was limited, defined by what he couldn't do. But Brian chose something different. He chose to fight with what he had. He chose to laugh at limits. He chose to dream big. One day, he turned on a camera, opened TikTok, and started creating. And no, he didn't do it looking for pity. He did it with humor, with creativity, with authenticity. Today, millions of people follow him. And not only that, he stepped into the world of cinema, earned the respect of an entire industry, and ended up nominated for a Goya Award as Best New Actor. Do you see it? He didn't choose his body, but he chose how he responded to his circumstances. And in doing so, he changed not only his life, but the lives of millions who look up to him. He is a living example of how your mindset can transform the most difficult challenges into opportunities for greatness. This is the power of choosing calm, choosing to act from a place of strength, and choosing not to let the circumstances of life dictate your peace. He didn't choose the obstacles, but he did choose how to respond. And that decision changed everything. Brian is not defined by what happened to him. He's defined by what he did with it. And that, my friend, is exactly what you can do too. Because that's where the real power of a trained mind begins. The kind of mind that refuses to give up. Epictetus said it clearly. You cannot choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you respond. And that changes everything, because if what happens to you is what defines you, then you're doomed by every mistake, every loss, every bad season. But if what defines you is what you choose to do, then there's always a way forward, always a path to move on. Now think about this. If bad experiences truly defined who we are, we'd all be the villains in our own stories, shaped by everything we've lived through, by what people have said to us, or what they've done to us. We'd be throwing things out the window like in a soap opera, right? But of course not, because what truly defines you is what you choose to do after the chaos has passed. Picture this. Your best friend, the one you trusted most, goes and shares a secret they swore to keep. A secret that leaves you exposed, one that even costs you your relationship. Suddenly, your world crashes down. Rage, disappointment, unanswered questions, everything swirls around you. And right there, your mind starts firing off thoughts in every direction. But if you let those thoughts carry you away, you'll only make the pain worse. You'll yell, seek revenge, shut down, and stay stuck. But there's another way, and it starts with something simple, a pen and paper. First, write down 3 things you could do in that situation. It doesn't matter if they seem small or even silly. The simple act of looking for solutions pulls you out of victim mode and into action mode. Also, stop labeling everything that happens to you. Sometimes, what looks like a disaster today is actually the very thing that pushes you to do something incredible tomorrow. That friend's betrayal, for example, might be the very push you needed to focus on yourself, to grow, and to surround yourself with people who truly have your back. So every time something hurts, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You can't let your mind trap you in what happened or in what didn't go as planned. So now tell me, if you're not defined by what happens to you, but by what you do, what story are you going to write with what you've got right now? Because that story, your story, starts the moment you decide not to give up. And to do that, you need a strong mind, a steady mind, and a calm one. Let's talk about something crucial. Learn to breathe, and you'll master your mind. Did you know that the way you breathe can make the difference between freaking out and staying calm? And no, it's not magic. It's pure science. The strange part is, we breathe every single day without even thinking about it. And yet, almost. Never pay attention to how we're doing it. And that, my friend, is where the trap lies. Patrick McKeown, one of the world's leading breathing experts and author of The Oxygen Advantage, explained something simple but incredibly powerful. Most of us breathe wrong, too fast, too shallow. And what does that do? It activates our sympathetic nervous system as if we were face to face with a lion, even if all we're facing is an email from the boss or an awkward conversation. Think about it. When you're in a stressful situation, your breath becomes shallow, your heart rate increases, and you feel your body tensing up. This is your body preparing for fight or flight. But here's the thing, your mind can be tricked. Even though your dangerous situation is just a mental stressor, your body reacts the same way as if you're facing real danger. Now imagine if you could change that reaction. Imagine if you could breathe deeply and slowly, sending a signal to your nervous system that there's no real threat. By doing so, you're calming your mind and taking control of your body's response to stress. It's simple but incredibly effective. When you learn to breathe properly, you're not just calming your body, you're also calming your mind. You're creating space between the stimulus and your response. That space is where you can decide how to react, and the more you practice, the more control you have. In stressful moments, try this. Pause, take a deep breath, and let your body relax. With every breath, you'll feel the tension release, and you'll regain your clarity and calm. That's the key. By mastering your breath, you're mastering your mind, and that's how you stay in control no matter what life throws your way. It's like your body goes into maximum alert mode for things that don't deserve it. And when that happens, the mind loses control. It speeds up, gets confused, and blows everything way out of proportion. But here's the good news. If you can control your breathing, you can start controlling your mind too. Marcus Aurelius made it crystal clear in his Meditations. He said, "If you are troubled by something external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment of it." And the beauty of that is, you can change that judgment at any time. But here's the catch. The fastest way to change that judgment, believe me, isn't through thinking. It's through breathing. Because when your breath is calm, your judgment calms down too. The other day, I was listening to a podcast by Jefferson Pfizer, lawyer, communicator, and expert in emotional management. I was completely hooked by what he shared. He talked about the importance of stopping and breathing before responding in tense situations, especially in courtrooms. He explained how lawyers often ask tricky questions designed to rattle you, to push you into reacting instantly. For example, imagine they ask, "So would you agree that you saw the car parking, but since you were in a hurry, you decided not to wait and hit it?" The usual response would be to jump in and say, "No, that's not true." But Jefferson suggests something different. Pause, breathe, look them in the eye, and then calmly say, "No, that's not true." But here's the difference. You're responding with a calm, steady voice. No rush, no knee-jerk reactions. See the difference? It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. The person who breathes and takes their time commands the room. And that's exactly what you can do. Next time you're in the middle of an argument, a tense meeting, or even when it feels like everything is crashing down around you, do what Pfizer says. Breathe before you respond. Give yourself 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds can change everything. And if you're at home feeling overwhelmed, your mind spinning in 1,000 directions, here's a technique used by many clinical psychologists to calm the mind. It's called the 478 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. Repeat the cycle 4 times. It's like putting out a fire from the inside. It relaxes your body and gives your mind back its control. You can't let your mind toss you around like a leaf in the wind every time something happens. Only calm will take you where you really want to go. And breathing is the doorway to that calm. So here's a challenge for you. You don't need anything. You don't even have to move. Just breathe consciously for 1 minute. Inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. And then tell me in the comments, how do you feel? Did you notice the shift? Because that small action might just be the first step toward taking full control of your life. Now, let's talk about something equally important. Don't obsess over the past or the future. Being stuck between what's already happened and what might happen is like trying to drive while staring only in the rearview mirror, or being so focused on the GPS that you forget to look at the road. You can't move forward like that. You'll either crash into what's right in front of you or get completely lost. Life isn't about reliving the past or worrying about the future. It's about being present in the moment, making decisions in the now, and moving forward with intention. The past is behind you. The future hasn't arrived. The only moment that truly matters is this one, the one you're living right now. So the next time your mind tries to drag you into the past or future, remember, you have the power to bring yourself back to the present. Breathe, ground yourself, and keep your focus on what's in front of you. That's where true control begins. And the worst part, you don't even enjoy the ride. You're just tense, stuck in your head trying to control the uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius didn't sugarcoat it. He said, "Man lives only in the present. The rest is either gone or hasn't happened yet." And keep in mind, this was someone with an entire empire on his shoulders. Now imagine for a second if Marcus Aurelius had gotten stuck on every decision he made. What if he thought, what if I shouldn't have sent those troops? What if that law wasn't the best call? He'd still be sitting on his imperial couch, paralyzed by doubt, while Rome crumbled around him. Most people live exactly like that, trapped in a mental loop of what if? What if I'd chosen another career? What if it happens again? What if I lose everything? But my friend, what's the point of worrying about things you can't change, or things that haven't even happened yet? The mind is incredibly skilled at leading us down roads that go nowhere, and if you don't train it, it'll drag you around in circles all day long. That's where anxiety and sadness creep in. Anxiety about what might go wrong tomorrow, sadness about what didn't go right yesterday. And while your mind is busy jumping back and forth, you're missing the only thing you can actually control. What's happening right now? Let me share something that might sound familiar. You're overwhelmed. Your mom insists on organizing your child's birthday her way, like you don't have a say in it. You're frustrated, holding everything back all day. Then on impulse, you grab your phone to vent. You write a long message to your partner, spilling everything you're feeling, but you accidentally send it to your mom. 1 second, it's done. You see, she's online, she's read it. Now your head won't stop. Why did I do that? What if she's furious? What if this ruins everything? You're stuck, but not because of the message. You're stuck because of your mind. And that's the moment you need to return to the present. Obsessing over what just happened won't undo the message. The only thing that can actually help you is focusing on what you can do now. But how do you do that? Start with something I like to call the mental anchor technique. Carry a small object with you, like a bracelet, a coin, or a stone in your pocket. Every time your mind starts drifting to the past or the future, touch that object. Let it be your physical reminder that you're here now, and this is the only moment that matters. Second, try the 1-minute reset, just 1 minute. Focus only on what's in front of you. Notice what you're doing. Listen to the sounds around. You feel your breath. It's like pressing reset. This simple act can break the loop your mind is stuck in and bring you back to center. And finally, ask yourself, what can I do to fix this? Not to justify yourself, not to spiral into regret, but to act. If there's something you can do, do it. If not, move on. Don't let your mind drag you through every fear and regret. It can invent, because only calm will take you where you really want to go. Let that be your focus, your true guide. Calm allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and move forward no matter what obstacles arise. So the next time you feel your mind spiraling, trapped in what happened or what could happen, take a step back. Use your mental anchor. Take a 1-minute reset and remind yourself, right now, this moment is all you can control. That is where your power lies. And calm lives right here in the present. Now get ready, because what's coming next is probably not what you're expecting. It's not about advanced mental techniques or deep philosophy. It's something much simpler, but incredibly powerful. Something you can do any time with whatever is right in front of you. And yes, it might be exactly what you need when your mind feels like a storm. So, let's dive in. Use your hands and clear your head. My friend, let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you actually did something with your hands? And no, I'm not talking about typing on your phone or tapping on a keyboard. Of course not. I mean something real. Touching, shaping, building. When was the last time you cooked without rushing? Drew something without worrying about whether it looked good? Fixed something around the house with your own 2 hands? These days, we live in our heads, constantly bouncing from one thought to the next. Notifications, emails, more thoughts. And honestly, how could you not feel overwhelmed when you never step out of that mental cycle? But there's a way out, and it's not in books, social media, or endless scrolling. It's in your hands. As Epictetus would say, don't explain your philosophy, live it. And living it often means doing. It's about getting out of the loop of overthinking and into action. He believed that worry is defeated with movement. Why? Because if you stay stuck in your thoughts, all you're doing is digging a deeper hole. But when you do something physical, something real, you're sending a message to your mind, I'm in charge here. It's not just Stoicism that says this. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, yes, the one with the impossible name, discovered something fascinating in his research on the flow state. That moment when time disappears, the mind quiets down, and all that exists is what you're doing in that moment. And do you know what kinds of activities usually lead to that deep, peaceful state? Simple, real-world things like painting, cooking, shaping clay, handwriting, activities that pull you into the present because they demand your full attention and movement. That's why during World War II, soldiers did it. Yes, really. In the middle of chaos, constant fear, and daily tension, many of them spent their downtime doing manual work, carving wood, fixing objects, even sewing by hand. It might have seemed like nothing, almost childish, but it had a profound effect. It wasn't just a distraction, It was a way to find stability when everything around them felt unstable. And the result? Those who engaged in these activities showed far fewer symptoms of PTSD, less anxiety, more clarity, more control. While others were stuck in memories or quietly falling apart, these soldiers found peace in something as simple as creating with their hands. I mean it. When your mind is a mess, try paper therapy. You don't need to be an artist. Just draw, color, or doodle anything while your favorite music plays. Without even noticing, you'll start stepping out of the mental fog. Or try something even simpler. Modeling clay. Yes, just like when you were a kid. The simple act of molding, shaping, and creating with your hands pulls you out of your head and into the moment. It allows you to focus on something tangible and real, and that's what brings calm. Even a few minutes of this can work wonders. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed, try getting your hands involved. It doesn't matter what you create, just that you're creating. And in doing so, you'll give your mind the break it desperately needs to regain its clarity and peace. You don't have to be a master of anything. You just need to be present in the act of doing. And that, my friend, is where the power of peace lies. Shape it, squeeze it, roll it into balls, whatever you like. Let your hands take over, and before you know it, your brain relaxes. Honestly, if the Stoics had had modeling clay, they might have been even wiser. It's not just about the act itself, but about letting your hands lead, giving your mind a break from its constant chatter. Another idea, get into the kitchen. But here's the twist. No phone, no recipe. Just you, the ingredients, and your hands. Knead, chop, mix. Let it become a ritual. Let it be your way of coming back to yourself. Because when you're right there, elbow deep in flour or peeling carrots, you're not thinking about bills, problems, or drama. You're present. You're alive. And that presence brings calm, my friend. You can't let your mind drag you down dark roads without giving yourself the chance to stop. The truth is, only calm will take you where you truly want to go. And sometimes that calm doesn't come from meditating or thinking harder. Sometimes it comes from moving your hands, doing something tangible, and connecting to reality through your body. So here's your final challenge. Next time you feel like your mind is on the edge of collapse, use your hands. Create something. Draw, cook, fix something with your own two hands. Who knows? Maybe as you clear your mind, you'll discover a hidden talent you didn't know you had. And even if you don't, at the very least, you'll have reclaimed something that so many people have forgotten. The ability to calm your mind simply by touching life with your own hands. Training your mind to stay calm isn't something that happens overnight. It's a journey, a conscious choice you make every time you decide not to react with anger, not to be dragged down by fear, and not to get lost in the chaos of your thoughts. Because every time you choose calm, you're choosing freedom. You're taking control of your life from the inside out. And that, my friend, is what makes the difference between living at the mercy of everything around you and living with real power. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear from you. Write it in the comments. I choose to live in calm, because that choice changes everything. That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, the ones who made it to the end of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a like so you don't miss out on what's coming next. I also invite you to check out our playlist, which you'll see on the screen. It's packed with ideas, stories, and advice to help you navigate life with more wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep moving forward together. Until next time, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.